suffocated to the point of breathing. 8 candidates were locked in a closed room. In front of each of them is a pen, lead and a blank sheet of paper. The most confusing thing is that the interviewer don't give any what questions only stop 80-minute countdown. During that time, if the paper is damaged, synonymous with disqualification. Leaving the room is also the same, means to be eliminated. Try to communicate with the interviewer, or the guard is also disqualified. Then help this interview, hiding something mysterious. Will anyone be able to pass the test? This question. Hello everyone. Today, we bring you a brain-clenched room movie. Exam. After stating the rules, the interviewer left the room only again to protect and supervise the exam. Everyone immediately picked up the exam paper, hoped to find a few hints. But it's disappointing that in addition to numbers from 1 to 8, and there is nothing else on it. The 2 minutes passed quickly. If you continue to wait, the most likely to be eliminated Asian girl can't be impatient, then immediately picked up the pen first. Self-introduction. Sentences have been She practiced over and over again in her head. But as soon as she put down the pen to write, were dragged out by the guards. That means the Asian girl has eliminated. Everyone looked at each other in amazement. The air is already suffocating. Then it became even more stressful. Right now, he was stunned to break the silence. The interviewer just holds the talk with them and protect, but not holding the candidate, talking to each other. I tried to ask the man, bride with nickname, brown side and guard, completely unresponsive. It seemed that his guess was correct. He immediately proposed cooperation. Even though they are competitors, painting that competition only really happens when answering the question. First of all, they have to figure out what the question is. Everyone agrees with this opinion. Each person has a sheet, paper and a pen. This shows that they are brave, important for the interview. Brunette thinks the question is on paper. It's just that they can't see it. Can be written with an invisible, or like a sunken form. Maybe under a kind of solid light, the words will appear. The light above the top of every people are halogen lamps, but the light on the wall is not. Brunette put the paper on the lamp on the wall, but nothing appeared. Brown looked at the pen in his hand. Maybe the pen is not to write an answer. Is it on paper? Have there been hidden traces? Just black out the paper is. The question will pop up. White smiled slyly and suggested Brown. Experiment. But Brunette stopped it. The interviewer said if damaging the paper, will be disqualified. Asian girl just wrote. A few words have already been eliminated. That proves writing on paper are also considered sabotage. Actually, White knows this too. He wants Brown to experiment with her. Eliminated in the same way. They are all the best, but the internal struggle began here. Brunette still leaning towards use light to find answer. Spectral light, some invisible light, seen with the naked eye but can make them out. Special writing. For example, ultraviolet or X-rays. Although I can't see it, the source, the morning must still exist. While people are, Brown discusses, found that there are many grooves on the wall. Inside it are glass materials. Brunette immediately realized that is the source of the light. Rooms that are only activated in case of emergency. This means they have to create to an emergency situation. It's a bit risky, but it's still good than doing nothing. So everyone picked up their chairs, smashed the light sources in the room. Indeed, when the room sank into darkness, the backup lights in the slot light up. This is ultraviolet. Companies that can advance often use light type, this light to display the security China. Everyone is in a hurry after the exam papers. Lights on, but there are no what appears on the paper makes. They are at a standstill. The scientific term of this light is light near ultraviolet light. If you don't find a way to turn it off, go before the end of time. Counting down, they will be burned to death. Right now, detected rows of sides on the glowing tab. Is there another type of light hidden inside the ultraviolet lamp? Everyone continues to beat. Break the array lights. Light in the room from color. Dark turns to warm color. They immediately after the exam paper turned on the light, but the result is still the same. There was nothing on the paper. At this time there are only 60 minutes left. They wasted a quarter of their time just to struggle with useless lights. People divert attention. Return to the exam paper. Maybe it's made from one kind of fly. Some special material. They can't destroy the exam paper, but the exam paper of the Shao girl was eliminated from her paper. Can be used for experiments. Why will the paper be broken into pieces? A piece used to smear Blake's saliva. One piece used to use urine of his own. They have ignored the most obvious thing. The heart. Although the idea is very good, they still didn't find what they needed. When everyone is discussing how to solve the problem, the man sat down. In the corner is called DFE, and became sad. From the start of the test to now, he has never said a word to do. Why do you think you're deaf? Give him this drunken farewell. Everyone thought he found out. Something should be curious to come down. Def only said 2 sentences. Seeing is the most important step. It sounds like a suggestion, but it's the same as a boring word. People don't want to waste time coming in. You should start thinking otherwise. They only have 80 minutes. How could it be so difficult? Brown thinks this could be not a room session. The problem is the game of those who have a lot of money. They've gone through many qualifying rounds, 8 best candidates, then set the poll to see who is the final winner. In general, with the board of directors, money doesn't matter anymore. They just want to find a sense of stimulation. Interrupted him. It is true that someone is monitoring. Close, but not. Extreme Fish, like you say, is the CEO of this company. He never showed his face. The way he recruits is also very special. For example, monitoring from behind a one-way mirror. Why is it so surprising? How did she know these things? Even know the wind, the CEO's way of working. Smiled brightly. He didn't learn about the tie before coming to her. It's hard to believe, but it's true. Only why is it because someone has just arrived? The rest all submit their own documents through their own channels. Anyway, this is a story. It's no secret. Started explaining more about activities of this company. 10 years ago, a global flu pandemic. Even young people, healthy ages also, have a very high trial rate, until a scientist invents a drug that suppresses the virus. In just half a year, the trial rate has been halved. This proprietary technology has helped. The company quickly rose to prominence. If because of this company the country is now, it is the 8th largest economy in the world. The interviewer said, these 80 minutes will decide 85 years of your life. That's because their job is to prolong the life of children. People, and this is not have money to buy it. Brown immediately retorted, as far as I know, this company has stopped recruiting employees since last year. Dak smiled. That's just a shell, wrapped on the outside. But in fact, they have secretly recruited more people to prepare for the upcoming big project. Brunei was very questionable. That means they've develop new specific drugs. If so, I don't know how long it will take. Drugs will be put on the market. He recognized the implication of her words. Why is she interested in this? This drug is like that. Brunei doesn't want to admit it, but can't endure his sarcasm. Finally, she revealed the reason. I'm here. It turned out that her boyfriend had this disease. They don't have enough money to buy inhibitory, but multiplied members in the company are entitled to the position. That's why she came here to participate in the interview. Although the purpose is not complete, but that does not affect the all selection process. If she finds the right answer, she can still be recruited. Soon after, Brunei slowly walked in front of the guards. The rules only say that it is not allowed. Do continue with him, but does not say that it is not allowed. Touch him. Brunei searched all over the body. She finally found one lighter in his pocket. Break, look up. System. Full water on the ceiling. Instinctively, people often think in it is water, but this room is clear. Has been renovated, so it is impossible to know which liquid will be covered. Break guesses that the exam papers are photo papers, and only when washed with liquid. In particular, the writing appears like that. The whole group decided to try it right away. Just burn the paper and smoke from it will activate the full water system. This plan really works. But when the liquid settles, the exam papers have not changed. Break water tasting and detection. It's just normal water. Their hope just flashed, were quickly extinguished. After stepping off the table, Brunei discovers the exam paper has disappeared, and so the guards retreated out of the room. As it turned out, Y had asked him to change the paper. Her contest with the Asian girl. The burned paper was actually her own. Everyone feels the action. Y's is shocking. But the rule is that trust in this environment, not worth a penny. Not yet in time for everyone to settle down. Then Def suddenly burst into tears. Even if he doesn't cause what threat period, but in the end he is still a competitor. Y walked up to him and pitted him. Will crush the exam paper and eat it. Def seems to have lost the ability to think and will really crush the exam paper. The result was too clear that Def was also eliminated. At this time, everyone realized that why me No more searching for questions, which are being eliminated one after another. Each competitor. As long as you are left alone. We will win this job. Looking at his satisfied side. Break can't take it anymore. Directly punched Y. After that, he also used Y's dazzling snacks on the chair. If he uses a trick, the other two are Break will also use the same method to get rid of him. After speaking, he was about to push both the person and the chair out of the room, but Brand stopped him. The interviewer said that if you leave the room because you don't want to, for any reason, you will lost from the way of competition. This sentence seems to imply that the person leaving must do so voluntarily. And here, Break is deciding on his behalf. This could cause Break to be eliminated. Hearing this, Break stopped. He doesn't want to take risks. At that moment, Y woke up from his inadvertence. He didn't beg for forgiveness, but said that it was time for him to take his medicine. As it turns out, Y is also a patient of the pandemic. He had to take the breast pillow, prepared once an hour. If they do not bear it, they will become serious. And inhibitors are placed in his left pocket. Break reached into his pocket, but nothing was found. Y must be that cunning. He will definitely taking advantage of the opportunity to get medicine, to get rid of glare. Break knows the consequences if the patient does not. When taking medicine, the first thing is to lose consciousness. Then there is a jerk, shock, and ultimately death. The whole process lasted several hours. As soon as he finished speaking, Y shrouded away again. Just over 20 minutes left. Time out to reverse. People don't have time to watch him. Acting up continues to look for clues. This time, Brow focused on Dark. He always suspected that there was a boss. This Shaul, the company's spy, in the group, and that person is most likely Dark. She knows a lot about the grandmother, Ministry of Pharmaceutical Companies. Others have also found out, but no one knows the details like her. Time is running out. Brow needs the fastest way to test their hypothesis. Saying that, he used his belt, glared Dark into the chair. Dark turned to the others for help. To be clear, OA is the spirit of the heart of the clogs. Maybe you guys left me alone. Am I doing something wrong? Although everyone thinks this is not true, but no one stood to stop him. Perhaps in their hearts they are also hopeful. Bong finds the answer. There is no other way. He is obliged to speak the truth. She is really an employee of pharmaceutical companies, but she is not a cockroach, as Brow said. Vacancies this time is in the CEO's office. She just happened to know that news via internal channels. And like everyone, she just wanted to get promoted. But Brow didn't believe it. He thinks that if he is not forced to, then she definitely wouldn't reveal this. For more clues, he took a piece of paper and take the sharp edge of the sheet. Paper turns it into a weapon then, a spread on the thigh of the stone. If you don't tell the truth, I'll squint your eyes next time. The interviewer made it clear, there is no law here. Just the rules we set. Should understand that he can do anything. But she really had nothing more to say. When the paper is only in sight, on ACM, Brow stopped. I just want to know the truth. Because Dak did not lie, he also didn't want to make a big deal. While everyone is think about clues, then Brow suddenly began to jerk. Some people think he's faking a play, but Brow refutes his opinion. Because his wife also died of this disease, so he understands the millions very well. When the disease develops, the urgency now is for Brow takes inhibitors. Brow searched Brow's pocket, but saw nothing. There is only one possibility of being someone have been cabled with inhibitors. In addition to Brow, in the room, only 4 people left. Because no one pleaded guilty, Brow proposed to search each person, but the search results are nothing. Among people, the most suspected person is Brow. If not found on, people are sure that he hid somewhere. From the beginning he chewed gum. Search around the seat of the GC. He and finally play. Currently, inhibitors are stuck under table with chewing gum. When she was about to give the medicine to Wei, Brow rushed up and threw the medicine down the drain. Y is the biggest competitor. They should think about their interests first. Everyone was shocked by the words, said his. Such a dangerous situation that we still only think about the benefits. The pill can be seen, but the hand, they couldn't just come. At that moment, Y stopped convulsing. But soon after, he had started to bleed his nose. Couldn't stand and look at him, like that. She suggested pushing Y out of the room. But her offer is not responded to by whom. And she alone is not can push the pot of the chair. She was helpless and could only ask for help through the camera. But just as she spoke, this suddenly came out a little. She used hairpins to pick up the pill. But when Brow didn't notice, secretly gave Y a pill, ingredients in the drug, like adrenaline, restart his heart. After a while, he came to his senses. Before losing consciousness, Y said that just taking an inhibitor he will reveal hidden questions in the interview. Now he was awake, and it's time to fulfill the promise. The countdown time is only 10 minutes. Y didn't go around anymore. This test is the question, and candidates are the answer. The interviewer made it clear that you just have to give an answer, meaning that out of 8 candidates only, there is 1 person who can stay. After speaking, Y looked at Eve, the guard's gun. Brake seemed to guess what he was going to do, so he quickly grabbed the gun first. In fact, he also thought that you are the answer, but he wants the whole team to be together. Each other became the answer. The interviewer never said they only hire 1 person, but things have gotten worse. All for selfishness and their personal ambitions. Y stood up slowly. Brake's idea is too idealistic. Which company doesn't know? How many flavors do they need? Which CEO needs 8 assistants? The CEO only hires 1 person. His idea is just self-help, just deceiving yourself. There are only 6 minutes left before the time runs out. They must make decisions immediately. After all, there are no rules left. Watching Y move forward step by step, Brake does not hesitate to squeeze the grass. But surprisingly, there were no bullets were fired from the gun. But that opportunity, Y immediately counterattacked. He pierced with a pen, handbrake rear. He picked up the gun and fired a few shots. But the result is still the same as before. No bullets were fired. At this time, he realized that this was a fingerprint recognition gun. So Y immediately ran to the security guard because he said, guards can definitely use this gun. Y just wants to win. I don't want to kill people. So, I asked everyone to turn to leave the room. Brake, even though he is very reluctant to. But, between work and now, life is clear network. Life is more important. And then he could only wait a few sentences, and then left the room. Next is Brake. He didn't believe Y would shoot. If he kills people, Y will spend his whole life, must endure the gradual decline of conscience. Y just smiled faintly. The prerequisite is that I must have a conscience first. Seeing the 2 of you continue that Brake decided to give up voluntarily. As she passed by Brake, she said softly, prepare to go. It's the same as the last right before. When leaving the room, Brake screamed loudly, turn off the lights. Microwave lights in the room. Works with sound. Brake received a hug in the evening, and immediately rushed over. Unexpectedly, Y fired a black shot. When the light comes back on, the bullet accidentally hit the Brake. When he thought he had won, he realized that the door of the room was still not closed. Then Blonde had 1 foot in the room. Only one part of the body is still in him. Room. She still wasn't disqualified. Y slowly approached to hold, was about to force her to leave the room. But soon after, 18 minutes are up. When the timer runs out, the rest of the work in the air room, more importantly, Y began to shout loudly towards the screen. I've won. I am the answer that the company needs. But as soon as he received the word, he said, the guard announced that he was disqualified. In fact, the clock is still there. A few seconds to finish. The clock stops because there are 2 buttons on it. 1 button to start timekeeping. 1 button for fast forward. The skin before being eliminated. Def quickly pressed the fast forward button, and so, he tricked Wei. Although the clock has run out, the game is not over yet. So what is the company's question? Blonde accidentally discovered the glasses. Fell on Def's floor. He once said, look is the most important step. Do you need glasses too? See the question. Blonde laminated glasses and glass fragments. Shattered into a glass. Magnify and start looking for. Sword on paper. Finally, she discovered a line. Small letters under the paper. Question no. 1. Blonde immediately realized the problem. When the interviewer leaves, he once asked, do you have any questions? That's the only question he asks. And is the only question in the test. But everyone ignores it. At that moment, Def an interviewer. Let's walk into the room. That Def is the CEO of the company. It's not that he's a good actor, but inherently, his status has always been like that. Are you a scholar? Not traders. He doesn't care about fame or money, but only setting high standards for future associates. So this interview, newly created. Fortunately, someone has overcome the challenge. But Blonde sarcastically mocks them. To recruit people who are willing to witness the scene of people slaughtering each other. Breck's subject is still lying on the other floor. The interviewer said. Who said he was dead? Blonde bowed suspiciously. Breck is still worshipped. Then your skin is also a person, suffering from infectious diseases. The bullet fired is actually a drug. The company's latest special treatment. This drug can kill, completely remove the virus. The launch of new drugs will encounter many, waiting. So the company needs people who are good listeners and subtle, close to join the team. That's why they organized this interview. How? Watching Breck gradually recover, Blonde finally had no doubts. In front of her was an onion. Brand new process. The story ends here. If you find it good, remember to like, share, leave a comment to help my channel be known by more people.
Enjoyed the video? Hit subscribe, drop a like, share with your crew, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk movies.